This is a story of what we found out what it means to be British. It's our story. It's a unique story because it's our story. Let's start from the beginning, as all good stories do. Something was nagging at the back of our heads. Oh, sorry, who are we? Well, that's me. I'm Tony Curry and Tony Shepherd. 2 names. This story is about identity. So probably having someone who is involved in a story with 2 names is a good choice. In this story, it is going to be complex. You are going to hear many voices and they are going to contrast and conflict. Much like the story of what it means to be British and who we are and just what is British identity. Sorry, I've forgotten my manners. You'll have to get used to me. I do tend to get a bit carried away at times and go off at tangents. As I was saying, we are me and Elaine. Elaine Eland. Elaine had the idea of looking at this whole British thing. Elaine works here at St John's, Old Trafford, where they do tons of things for the community. So we had this idea. Why? Well, because, you see, we've got in a bit of a muddle. All of a sudden, people weren't too happy. Largely about people coming here and taking jobs and the like. Plus, people were promised that by not being part of the EU, would suddenly be awash with money, which could be spent on the NHS, for instance. But it was very tight when people voted, nearly 50-50. And what's funny, people in big cities like Manchester voted to remain, and smaller places voted to leave. Plus, older people largely voted to leave, while younger people voted largely to remain. So maybe some people like to see us as this. While maybe some will see us as this. Now, you'll have to excuse me. This is how I see things. Mr. Tony Curry and Mr. Tony Shepherd, who was born here to mixed parents, who loves this country as I love this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, who is essentially a European, a man of the world, who doesn't really buy into this idea of borders and states. Although I do cheer on England when it comes to football and cricket. And I love the English players like at Tottenham, my club, King Harry and Dele Alli. And I haven't obviously got anything against foreigners, but again, it might be about identity, as I do relate to people, English people or people in England, or I don't know, it's all confusing and terrible, and you know what I mean. So anyway, you have a biased view here. I make no bones about that. So as I was saying, we're in a bit of a muddle. We were asked to vote and we voted go. Although even now, the arguments continue to flow. Should I stay or should I go? Today's the day it's had its say when insanity ruled the way. We're forced to be onlookers as the whole country goes bonkers. Where common sense is now not commonplace. Where now we are not Euro common but maybe just a bit common. A common ideal to keep it real, rule Britannia and our assaulted John Bull. We're up a creek with no paddle to keep us afloat this island race. So pull up the drawbridge and keep it indoors, and look forward to your holidays to Benidorm with the in-laws. Alright, sorry mess, leaving me in deep distress, whose blood is part in African soil, and here where sometimes I've had to toil, but prevail I've done, because here the sun shone on my face, this beatific island race. Now, don't be in a haste to turn us back, to pee on us folks who are black, brown, or from another town, because it's nice here, you can be queer, sincere. So, don't let John Ball win, because people, that would be a right royal sin. So, what does it mean to be British? Well, according to Ofsted, fundamental British values are democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, mutual respect for and tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs, and for those without faiths. Oh, well, that's very interesting. And I'm not sure some people's views align themselves to this. And what does a British person look like? So, anyway, we wanted to find out who we are. And how do you find that out? Well, you ask those that may be from the outside. You see, you can find so much about yourselves from looking from the outside. When a guest comes to visit, they may question us in some way, and after their visit, we may be changed. People can do this if we allow it to happen, and by listening to voices from here, we found out this.
December, rain, cloudy, muddy, icy weather, every year cold.
Rain cold.
Manchester, woman, friendly, beautiful, kind, smiling, busy, happy.
The school system is very good. Take time to play and to read. Different to my own country, where it's very strict. Use of the blackboard.
The parks here are good. In my own country, there are few and you have to pay. There are lovely a place of rest.
Some things you have to wait a long time.
And it isn't a free service. You have to pay for teeth.
Expect the unexpected, be open to change. Our thoughts and ideas can be rigid, implanted by a whisper, a sense, an identity, an idea. Before I came, I thought the people would be friendly, the weather cloudy and the buildings grand. I was looking for order where people respected the rules. I thought the buildings would be beautiful and the ladies splendida. Bellissimi. Bellissimi. Are we so different? We share a mistrust of the government, of big business and the media, and we share love, a desire for safety and a desire to share, to breathe, to laugh, to love. Bellissimi. Bellissimi. But even though it's freezing, smiling, and you have to think about surviving, yes, well, it's also inviting, welcoming, a very cool country. Yes, right, well, that's nice. Oh, okay, so a bit of a mixed picture, but that's fine. I said we'll find contradictions about this country, good and not so good. Now then, what do others think? Maybe people who have lived here that little bit longer, they may have even been born here. How important is being British to you?
Well, I've got Irish, Welsh, and English ancestry, but I don't feel British though, I suppose. I hate the flag and all that comes with it, the monarchy, the empire, the silly flag waving. I don't take part in any of that.
I felt wanted by the country enough to feel remotely British.
Brown eyes.
I definitely feel more northern than ever though. I used to feel ashamed of my northernness and especially my accent like it was somehow second class.
I always feel more northern than British.
I'm only British by accident of birth.
I love a cup of tea. Actually, it might be time to have one. So being British, I don't know, different things to different people. The country's split. But what I reckon is we can be really nice, thoughtful and mindful. And we can be questioning and not take anything for granted. We've got a long history and we haven't always been great in my opinion. We've gone around and exploited the world and we've exploited our own people at times. We can be conservative, we can like the familiar, we like a belief in a story, that we are heroic and that we all pull together, and sometimes we do. And I reckon it's what we need to do again to make this country truly great.